Hey, happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to this week's layout and project update. Whew. So last week's video is at 2,700 views, and it went to almost, I think it was 2,000 in less than 2 days. It was one of the few videos that I have that hit 1,000 views. I think it hit 1,200 views in the first 24 hours, which is pretty cool. So it was a real long video too. So for everybody who went and watched that, I appreciate your time. And you probably did like me and just kind of watched it like, 5-10 minutes here, 5-10 minutes there till you got through the whole thing. And I appreciate y'all watching. I think that's the 5th most popular video on my entire channel out of 396 videos. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to start off this week the exactly same way as what we did last week. So we're going to talk about a bunch of locomotives here, and then we're going to go over and look at the Hudson Coal Branch and see what's going on over there. So if you remember, I've been talking about these MRC Lima locomotives and how bad the gears were. Well, I got with Northwest Short Line a couple weeks ago, and they made a recommendation on what gears and axles and wheels to buy. So I spent about $130 and bought new axles and gears and wheels for all 8 drive wheels. I'm also going to take Dwight's advice, and I'm going to open up the gearboxes in here, and I'm going to clean off all the gears. Any flashing and all that stuff is going to be scraped off. It's going to be sanded a little bit. I'm going to refine them quite a bit, and I'm going to double check the brass worm gears on each end to make sure that there's no nicks or anything on that causing problems. These motors are incredible in here. They're really smooth running, but the trucks and the wheel sets are garbage and need some work. Now, I reached out to Tony Custer because he had these very same locomotives on his Midland Road, and I asked him if he remembers having any problems with them and how he dealt with them, and he doesn't remember having any problems with them. So maybe they changed their manufacturing or something like that, and they just kind of went south with some of their gearing and quality control or something. I don't know. But so I'm waiting on those to come in, and then I'm going to do a full DCC install on both of these. The motor and the electrical system inside is a little bit different. It's kind of like Athearn, as the frame has a wire coming off to it that goes to the motor as probably the negative, if you would. And then you got wires that come off the trucks that, provide the power to the motor, of course, but they come off the trucks and they also come back to the frame. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to figure all that stuff out. That's going to be part of the next DCC install video that I'm going to put up. The DCC install video that I posted on Thursday for the Undecorated Atlas units, I failed to talk about how to do the headlights. It's pretty simple. It is very simple. You got a positive side of the headlight on the LED, and you got a negative side, and it literally says positive front headlight, negative front headlight. So it's, I don't know, pretty rudimentary. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. All right, let's go to the next pair of locomotives. All right, so I got these 2 undecorated Kato Atlases, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. I put these little notes on there just to kind of remind myself and to kind of think about things. So I was thinking about doing Allegheny Midland on both of them, but I'm really thinking I might do something a little bit different. For those new viewers, I'm acquaintances with Tony Custer, and I'd reach out to him quite a bit. I just got an email from him not 5 minutes ago talking about the Ridgely and Midland County, which was the original name that he was going to use for the Allegheny Midland, and then he decided just to make that a short line that connected with the Allegheny Midland. And that railroad only had 2 locomotives, had an RS-36 and it had a RS-1. The RS-1 was in the Rutland Railroad scheme with just the Rutland removed and R&MC on there. And the other one was a blue and yellow RS-36 that they got secondhand. And he had a little story with that. And as a matter of fact, if you get the Allegheny Midland Lessons Learned book, it talks about both those locomotives very briefly. But I'm thinking about doing one of these in a Rutland type scheme, but at the same time, I think I might just buy another RS1, or buy an RS1 that's Rutland, and do just like Tony did and remove the Rutland and put the RNMC decals on there. And if I didn't just say so, Tony sent me decals 2 Christmases ago, so 2023, and I have RNMC decals on there, and it's pretty cool. So I used those same old decals to take the 409 here and make it an Allegheny Midland as well. I got to do a little extra work to it by putting some like a decal restoring solvent on there, and let that dry for about 10-15 minutes before you can use the decals, because they'll just fall apart. But I still got quite a few of them left, so things are about to happen. Let's go to the next locomotive. Now, if you remember, I got this Atlas GP40. It's a Roco Atlas, and that would be this locomotive here. I got it for free from my friend John, and it didn't run, so I did some work to it and I got it running. And I've always wanted to do a DCC install on one of those Rocos, and just to see how they run. It's just, I don't know, pure curiosity, I guess. I don't know. But I bought a new shell, undecorated, and I've been doing a little work to it. I went above and beyond and put on lift rings. I think I put like 9 of them on there. Let's see if you can see those. There you go. And I took the headlight and on the nose, and I filled that in with putty. And the sand filling hatch right here was really big, so I just cut that off. I screwed up the other day. I was trying to take off some of this putty, and I accidentally burned off the class light with my little cleaning brush. So I'm just going to take those off, and it's just going to have to be that way. But this is going to be New York Central. It'll be painted in the same scheme as this U30. And that way they're going to have a matching set of New York Central locomotives. Even though I don't model New York Central, they have a place here and there on certain photographs that I'm planning, because the Virginian and Ohio had trackage rights on the New York Central between Charleston and someplace in Ohio. So that's an opportunity to have some New York Central locomotives in the siding while the V&O is on the main line, or vice versa. And I'm going to work on that here soon. It's already, I think it's almost ready to be painted. I just got to clean up that nose just a little bit, and it'll get paint and decals probably here in the next couple weeks. There's no rush on that at all, but it would be kind of cool to have them two paired up for some photographs. And if you're a follower of my channel or a subscriber, you know I have a lot of fantasy locomotives. I really enjoy creating things that did not exist, but in my model railroad world, they do exist. So these two ALCO C425s are going to become wheeling in Lake Erie. They will be painted in this black and yellow scheme like this ALCO demonstrator. And one will have yellow stripes. The hell was that? All right, so if you didn't know this, my house is haunted. I've talked about this quite a few times in other videos. And I don't know if you heard it on the video, but something just moved over here off to my right. And there's nothing in here that can move. That's freaking weird. And there's no mice out here. I got 8 cats. There ain't no mice anywhere in my house. So that was, I'm going to have to go back and watch this video again and see if you can hear that. That's crazy. All right, so back what I was talking about. So I ordered these are modern Wheeling and Lake Erie decals. But I thought this yellowish gold Wheeling in Lake Erie W&LE would look good on the side. It's kind of big. I would prefer it to be more of the steam era size, which I think was like 12 inches or something like that. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. So one of these will have the end stripes, like that locomotive right there. And the other one is just going to have this little Wheeling in Lake Erie little thing on there. That's all it's going to have on the front, maybe the back. Or since there's 2 of them, I could probably do the little coonskin thing on the fronts and put stripes on the back. Hey, I kind of like that idea. Might not look right though, with stripes on the back. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think I should do? A little herald on the noses, nothing on the back of the locomotive, or should I do the stripes like that one? And we'll see how it looks. But leave me a comment. Give me some advice. I really enjoy getting the comments. And y'all have a lot of incredible ideas out there. And I've said this in a lot of videos before that we are more intelligent together than what I am by myself. Here, this is what that would look like. Right there on the left. I don't like it that low, so it would probably be a little bit higher, but that's a high nose. But you know what I'm saying. It's kind of cool. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so these are my fantasy ALCO C625 demonstrators. The C625 did not exist. In 1963, ALCO did a press conference where they announced the Century Series. I got Dwight texting me. I'm trying to read and record at the same time. The ALCO announced the Century Series, and they announced the C625, but they ended up not building it because they built the C628. But what I did was took some C620 or 425s, and I just put, you know, the RSC or the RSD trucks underneath of them. And to me, that is I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. And they roll real good and they run really good. So what I did was, since they did not exist, and since the Allegheny Midland did not have any C425s or C625s, of course, I painted them in a Allegheny Midland / nickel plate paint scheme, and just individually applied 4 letters on the side to spell out ALCO. If you remember, my Allegheny Midland C420 is 409. Well, 410 through 419 was left open for a while, and then that became the number range of the C430s. C430s? I think it's C430s. So I made this one 410. Of course, this one's going to be its sister unit, and it'll be 411, and it will roam the system. And I think they're going to look really cool together. And you know, these ALCO or these Atlas Katos, they run like a Swiss watch. These things are incredible. As you can tell, I've got a ton of them. And in the last 2 years, I bet I've bought 20 of them. So I got them all over the place. And they're my favorite locomotive. I think the only thing that runs better than an ALCO Kato is, or an Atlas Kato. How many times am I going to say ALCO Kato? An Atlas Kato, the only thing that runs better than that is just the new Atlas Classics or the new Atlas or the Katos. I mean, they run incredible. And if anything's made by Kato, you cannot go wrong. All right, what else we got going on to talk about over here? Thursday's video, you're going to want to come and watch that one. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be episode 1 of a 3D a print build. Let me grab it real quick. I mentioned this one the other day. Special effects are pretty good, aren't they? And this is Neenah, Wisconsin. What do I call it? I call it like a crossing tower or something the other day, and I was quickly corrected. But that's what I've always called them. You got a watchman up here that sits up really high, and he's looking left and right down the railroad tracks. And when he sees a headlight, he gets out and he goes and stands at the railroad crossing and stops traffic. So I'm still going to call it a crossing tower. And I'm going to take off all the supporting structures. We're going to get it down to just the building and the staircase. Most of this stuff here will come out. I'm going to record all that so you don't make any mistakes. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to take some scale measurements, and I'll probably be the entirety of episode 1. And then I'm going to figure out how to paint it and all that stuff after that. So I'll do a little research and throw some pictures up there as well. You can go and do like a Google search of Neenah, Wisconsin, and the Mid-Continental Railroad Museum, and this tower has been saved. And this is made by Whistle Stop Rails. Whistle Stop, is that what it is? Where's my notes? Whistle stop models. Bam. When you get old, you gotta write stuff down all the time. Whistle stop models. That's owned by John Chase. Real good dude. Real good dude. So he sent me that to do a review on. So that's gonna be Thursday's video. And weather's supposed to be really bad here in North Carolina this week, but it's changing by the hour. So we'll see what happens. Once it warms up a little bit, I'll get back to the freight house kit bash build. It needs to be a little warmer out before I do any painting. And I'm not going to paint in the house because there ain't no place to paint in the house. And then the V&O F7s, I probably got one long episode finishing that up. And I'll probably finish that up probably in 2 weeks. And so you can come back and finish that off and watch that. And I know what you're wanting. You want to see some trains run, and you want to go see what I did over on the other side of the on the other side of the layout. I am tongue-tied. I took a 2.5 hour nap, and I still can't talk. And that's life when you get old, I guess. I don't know. So let's go check out all the work I've been doing. All right, so here we are walking into the layout room from the kitchen. And you might notice, you might not, I painted a lot of stuff black. So you got the brown foam, and just below that was just natural wood, kind of like those legs coming down there on the left. And I painted that all black because I thought it would look better with the black curtain. And I think it does. I think it does look pretty good. So I fought with this curtain last night, so it's all wrinkly right here underneath where this bridge is at, in this little drop down section. And I had a little temper tantrum on that because it just, staple gun wouldn't work. I was up underneath there, my back's been killing me. And just had a whole lot of problems. But this looks okay for the time being. I'll be working on it. I also painted. All this foam is now brown. The area where the coal mine tracks will be, or the tipple tracks will be, is now black. That will be cinder ballast. I've also painted the rail, soldered a bunch of track together in preparation for DCC installation. I got my suitcase connectors in. I can start doing wire drops here probably this week, but like I said, it's supposed to be really cold, so I don't know if I'm going to be out here very much. Now, I did do one thing. I changed the this Hudson 2 mine. I switched it around. So I guess it's probably the back, but you know what? Anytime the camera's running, there's always something. Stand by. All right, so like I was saying, I painted the track. I got my suitcase connectors in. I had to order like 100 of these off of Amazon. And some people swear by these, some people hate them. I like them, so that's what I use. All right, so I painted all the track, except for a couple pieces that I still have yet to paint. So this piece of flex track here still has to get paint. And it's the number 2 track that runs around over to here. I painted all the foam all the way back. I kind of sat the, these are white foam risers. I kind of put those in place where they will be. And you can see how there's plenty of room for these 2 tracks up against the wall. That will be hidden by this grade coming down here. I think it's looking pretty good. To me, it really kind of changes the layout when you get rid of that green foam. It don't look finished by no means, but I don't know, maybe it's just progress. I also painted this piece of foam right here. I started to cut another piece here, and I'm planning on putting another one on top. And I just put these trees here just to get them out of the way because I had them all stuck in the corner for a photo last week because the program I use is like an AI program that's supposed to be intelligent, but it is not, and it'll screw up. So I put the trees in there because it sees the trees as trees, and it'll put the sky above them versus, you know, a coal mine sitting in the middle of the sky, which is what it was doing. I also did some math, did some measuring, did some figuring, if you will, and my grade will start roughly right in here. So it'll be 32 feet long at 1%. And it ends right there. All I did was take the 2% grade kit from Woodland Scenics. I cut all the pieces apart and I stretched them out from 2 feet to 4 feet. So each one of those white sections is 2 feet long. When you cut them down, I probably cut them like where every little spacer is at, and you stretch them out to 4 feet. That takes that 2% grade, makes it longer, and it turns into a 1%. And that's what I have done. I painted brown all the way back to where the level is at, the yellow level. And I had a couple other things I wanted to do, but I'm not going to tell you about that today. I'm just going to show it to you here in a couple weeks, and I think you're going to like it. But you can see where the Virginian main line is coming down grade. It'll curve through here on a 42-inch radius curve. I got a road bed down. It's from right here on for like the next 12 feet. It's glued in place. 42-inch radius curve coming around. And this little spot's a lot narrower than what I had planned it to be. Damn it. So my plan was to have kind of like a cut for every track going through here, but between the Virginia main line and the Pennsy there on the left, them 2 tracks, probably just gonna have like a row of trees or some shrubs, so that in photographs you just won't see the other track. And at least that's my plan, but we'll see how that works out. And you can see how it goes around. It goes by that piece of white foam, and then it will run down to that other piece of white foam, to that tunnel way down there. And I think it's going to work out. I'm having some pretty good ideas. I really put a lot of thought into this, because I've never built a mountain tunnel type of thing before that was this long. I mean, because basically the tunnel portal is going to be right in here. And, you know, probably going to put it back here. Maybe right here, because I don't want to see tracks and trains when I'm taking pictures or videos from this angle. All I want is a little bit longer tracks back here, and I will be able to have a good shot of like mountain hillside, you know, in this area. And so we'll see how that works out. I put this piece of white foam there just to hold that conveyor, that covered conveyor system in place, to kind of show how I want to hilt my damn finger. What the hell? I'm not a professional at all. Because I need the scenery, divider, mountain, hill, whatever, to go up at least a foot and a half in this area. And you can see that I don't have a whole lot of space to work with. When you think you got 2 feet of space, you think you got all this room, but once you start putting buildings and stuff in there, my plan kind of went to crap. So I had a comment the other day about, do I have a track plan? And I seem to kind of be doing this haphazardly. And the answer is, I no longer have a track plan. And I changed my plan so much that the track plan that I do have printed out is pointless. So yes, it might be a little haphazard, but it's the way I'm doing it, and it's all going to be okay in the end. See, from here you can see the yard, and you can tell that, you know, this is going to be a real neat scene, especially when you got the divider, the scene divider here, and you won't be able to see, you know, one side from the other side. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to look all right. All right, let's come back here a little bit. This is going to be a neat shot. Anytime I do a culvert, I think they always look really cool with the locomotives and cars going over in time. But you can see also that I carved the, I don't know, the easement or whatever you want to call it. I carved the corners down, at least over here. And I'm getting everything mocked up pretty well. Let me go ahead and talk about these. So I had to order track joiners, rail joiners, and all those came in. So these will get rail joiners here in the next couple of days, and I'll solder these together, take them outside, and I'll paint the rail. Because it's warm enough outside to paint rail, just not buildings, because you're not going to get good coverage. And for the track, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in my opinion, because all you're going to see is brown and black. So I have to go back through with the brush and paint the points and a couple other places where the track goes together that I did not solder. Like I soldered this side, not this side. So I may or may not solder all this, you know, so we'll see. We'll figure it out. Why my engine's making noises over there? Let's talk about this piece of crap Shinohara switch that I got. So I bought this years ago, not realizing it was non-DCC compatible. So what I ended up doing was I cut the frog here and here. There's insulators here. And I cut the frog here and here. Now this, let me zoom in and see that. So this here has basically a rail joiner down here holding these two pieces together. And that came off. So I ended up soldering a new piece of rail right here, which isolates that turnout. Now I run a bunch of cars through here and they seem to do okay. And I hooked this up to the DCC side of the layout, and there was no shorts when I threw the switch, because when the switch was lined to go straight down the middle to number 2 here, it was fine. But if I threw it to go to number 1, or if I threw this to go to number 3, that's when the short would occur. And it's not doing that now, so I think I'm okay. Now we will see. Now that is an ugly looking little piece of rail, but it's all engaged and it works and nothing derails on it, so we're gonna leave it alone with that. All right, let's see what else I did. I put a couple of bridge ties on the end of this approach to the bridge right here. They don't match, and that is perfectly fine, because these two bridges came off the main line someplace, and now it's on a branch line, and they got shoddy maintenance going on. So, but nothing has to be perfect when you build your railroad. It just has to work more than anything. And there's no guardrails in the middle, and there probably won't be. And I talked to a track maintenance guy when I was a conductor, and I asked him about it, and he said it's really up to the maintenance department whether they put them on or not. He said most of the time you don't need them. So on this railroad here, the stretcher railroad, it is slow going, and you're not going to need them because it's not like 60 mile an hour main line. It is just, you know, probably 10 mile an hour branch line. So it will be okay. I need to paint this track here and solder it up there, and that will be completed as well. All right, let's back up here. Then we'll talk about this section here, because it's about to get some love. I have sprayed some foam all around here. I like the way it's shaped. I'll carve just a little bit, and all this will get paint probably this week and start getting glued. Well, not glued down, but I'll get it all ready to be glued down, and then I have to work on the track on this side and then get it all in place and get it painted and soldered, and then the foam mountains and everything will get put in and glued in. I have to attach ties to this turnout here that my friend Scott built me, and I have to work on this transition area right here to get it leveled out. It's a little dark on this side. But you can see my transition right here is pretty decent. It looks like the gaps are really big, but nothing really derails through there, except for my Broadway Limited SD9, and I still can't figure out why, because I can work on that all I want and it doesn't make any difference at all. So this is a short train that I'm running tonight. I thought I'd do a little something different. It's running at probably 25 miles an hour, and it'll make a lap around the layout in about 11 minutes, because this part's been filming for 11 minutes when it was over at the other end by Hudson number 2. So about 25 mile an hour. If you're wondering, I have just under 300 foot of main line on what is the Pennsylvania Railroad that it's running on. When I have the Virginian / Appalachian lines side built, it will have roughly the same amount. So I'll have a total of around 9.5 to 10 scale miles of main line. And as I talked about the grade going up way back here against this wall, I'll go ahead and show you the peninsula over here. This peninsula is going to have a second level on top. It'll be about 5 inches higher than the track level right here. And the only part of this lower section that you're going to see is this brown part over here. It's going to look like a tunnel, with one side open so you can see your trains moving through there. The top side will have a coal tipple. Once again, because coal is the main commodity of my railroad. Is also going to have on the turnaround section right there with all that junk stacked up is going to be an Army installation, and it will have an Army airfield, barracks, you know, some ranges, a whole bunch of other stuff on there. Back in the day, the Army got a ton of stuff shipped via rail, so there's going to be a bunch of warehouses, and it'll probably be a whole job by itself to go up there and work the base. And you know, you're going to have tank cars full of airplane fuel. You're going to have tank cars of diesel. You're going to have box cars of, you know, whatever freight and commodity. You're going to have flat cars for, you know, tanks and trucks and artillery. And so it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty good little spot to work. And if you're not 6'5", you're going to have a step stool, because it's going to be about 63 inches tall. So it should be right at eye level. And some people might like that, some people don't. So what I think I'm going to do is, anybody that comes over that's 5'5", I'm going to put them on that job just to have fun with it. And I think that'll be funny. Dwight shouldn't have a problem. He's like 6'3", he's a monster. You know, my little 5'9" ass, I gotta reach for everything, it seems like. Yeah, my wife, she's shorter than I am, and it seems like she's vertically challenged, you know, in every single thing that she does, but she's not. She milks it. She milks it. She's still sick, by the way, if you've been following along the last couple of videos. But that's about it. So maybe this week, if I get around to it, I'm gonna start laying road bed over here for this track. I think this is a 48-inch radius curve, 46, 44, yeah, 48. And I also have another track going to come off of here. So I'm going to have to, you know, weather the tires real good. And since I decided to put this turnout here, and it wasn't the original plan, I'm going to have to fill this spot in so I can put a hand throw on here. And then there'll be a small industry back here related to the grain elevator over there. I'm going to put a little piece of track right here just to kind of show where the belt line used to connect. I got an old switch that's going to get cut up. There'll be some scrap over here when I do the scenery. Have an old frog, and probably your stock rail will be sitting over here someplace, you know, just off to the side, because, you know, they tore out that switch, which probably would have sat right in here. I think it's going to look pretty cool. Sorry about that. I'm trying to think. There always seems to be something else when I'm talking, but I actually think I covered everything. Those engines are making some noise over there. It's kind of weird. Oh, so let's jump back to the little ghost incident that happened at the beginning of the video. So I went all through that back room to try to see what could have fallen over or what that noise was, and I can't figure it out. So I don't know if you heard it or not, but I need to go back and watch that video again and see what happens. But I think that's it. Yep, I believe that's going to be it. So like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so. Let me remind everybody, 60% of my viewers are non-subscribers. So I'm going to ask you to subscribe, because I'm trying to hit that 2,000 subscriber mark by the end of February. Now, the original goal was by the end of December, and I was failed on that one. And nobody wanted that Virginian and Ohio coil car. But which I'm not upset by, because I didn't want to give it away anyway. I really like it. And if you are interested in some fantasy cars from your favorite model railroads that you've read about all your life, go to homeshops.net and see what they got, because they got a lot of cool stuff over there. Intermountain has come out with a Virginian and Ohio AC-44 something. I don't know these modern locomotives. I just know there was a Group 6. It pulled like a mother, and it had great dynamics. But they have one painted like Allegheny. They have one painted in Virginia and Ohio, like the intermediate scheme, with the white nose and the blue herald. And they also have the more modern Appalachian Lines version. So go check them out. Matter of fact, Home Shops also has a Virginian and Ohio C30-7 I think it's a C30-7, that they worked with a Rapido to create. What's going on here? Ain't that amazing? Huh. It felt a disturbance in the force when I was walking up. All right, so once again, go check out those guys. There's, oh, let me tell you something. Here's this cool. So at the end of this video is a business card for home shops. Now you're probably thinking, Rob, I'm watching this on my phone. I can't just scan that with my, phone when I'm watching it on my phone, right? So this is what you do. Take a snapshot, a screenshot of that card. It'll go to your photos. You go to your photos, you bring that up, touch your finger on that QR code, and it'll open up the website. Go check it out. You probably think, hey, Rob, man, you're full of shit. That ain't gonna work. Go do it. I tell you, it'll do it. If you got an iPhone, if you got a Samsung or something else, maybe, maybe not. But go check it out. Go try it. Prove me wrong. Leave me a comment. Come back here in a couple of days, see what I talk about next.